If there is one word that identifies the principal goal of education, it is understanding. It's not enough that students can repeat what you teach them in the classroom or what they read in a textbook. To arrive at a proper understanding, three things need to happen. First, students need to acquire the information. For this, they go to class, listen to what you say, read the textbook, and take careful notes. Obviously, there can be no understanding if the essential information is not grasped. Now, if passing tests and moving to the next grade level was the essence of education, then genuine understanding could easily be faked by students who possess a talent for memorizing and repeating what they hear or read. Sadly, in some schools, this is what's happening as instructors spend more and more time teaching to the test so that students can pass and move on. But genuine understanding involves more than merely acquiring information. Good teachers demonstrate for students how to assimilate new information into what they already know or think they know. Assimilation is about making connections and incorporating new information into a growing body of knowledge, analogous to how our body assimilates nutrients into its composition and functions. And the third step in reaching genuine understanding is when students can finally apply this new knowledge in reframing their perspective, solving problems, and making meaning. Knowing how to put knowledge to use is where mere theory bears fruit in practice and a proper understanding is achieved. Each of these steps into genuine understanding, acquisition, assimilation, and application, relies on the important cognitive skills of concept formation and critical thinking. Some students need additional support outside of class in order to strengthen these skills, as well as others that make higher learning possible. When students come to the Learning Center for help, they might have the initial expectation that a tutor, what we prefer to call a facilitator, is going to serve as their private instructor, teaching them again, perhaps more slowly, what their course instructor has been saying in the classroom. A few students choose to skip class and maybe not even crack open their textbook, hoping that the tutor will tell them what they need to know. It could be that you, as a member of our faculty, have a similar expectation. To your students who are not keeping up with assignments or passing tests, you may have directed them to get help in the Learning Center, fully expecting that someone there will stand in for you as a supplemental instructor, teaching your students what they need to know. If our facilitators were to fulfill these expectations and teach students what they need to know, a few serious consequences would almost certainly follow. First, because no two instructors teach exactly the same, there's a risk that these differences will cause confusion for the student and compromise his or her success in your class. Second, relying on a supplemental instructor to help them acquire what they need to know actually conditions the student to remain a passive learner and depend on someone else to do their thinking for them. And third, if a facilitator's time with the student is spent on instruction, the important work of strengthening skills is ignored. In fact, what many struggling students lack is not intelligence, capacity, or a desire to learn, but the skills that support learning. Without these skills, students can try as hard as they can, but with no success. This makes perfect sense when you think about it. If you lack the skill for something, say building a cabinet, driving a car, or using a computer keyboard, merely trying harder can often make a mess of things. In addition to self-confidence, determination, grit, and a growth mindset, students need skills to learn. When your students come to the Learning Center, facilitators will be ready when they have a question or problem. But instead of teaching them what they need to know, the facilitator will use one or more of the following methods. We ask open-ended questions such as, "What do you already know about this problem?" or "What do you think might be your first step toward the answer?" The value of open-ended questions, which are questions that can't be answered with yes or no, is that they prompt the student to engage the question or problem rather than wait for someone to give the answer. We direct the student to resources, which might be as simple as asking the student to bring out his or her class notes or to open the course textbook. Many students don't know how to take good notes in class or read their textbook effectively. By coming for help with the expectation that a facilitator will ask for their notes and textbook, students get stronger in the skill of using their resources for learning. We help students make a plan, to start thinking strategically around their question or problem in order to clarify a path to the answer or solution. Taking the time to organize an approach and sequence of steps serves to foster creative and critical thinking. Once again, a facilitator won't give the student this plan, but rather ask questions and coach the student through the process. When we build mini lessons, we come close to teaching students what they need to know without explicitly teaching them. Instead, a topic might be explained or clarified by asking questions and activating what a student already knows. By making connections and predictions, the student stays engaged through the process. Finally, we provide guided practice by giving students a sample problem and leaving them alone for a while to work on it. Periodically, the facilitator will come back around and check on the student's progress, asking questions and giving constructive feedback. It's important that the student is by himself or on her own while working on the problem in order to develop independence and find a way to the solution without constantly having to rely on someone else. Students who engage a subject with open-ended questions, who use their available resources, who devise strategies to keep focused, and develop confidence in their own ability to succeed may not have had these skills when they first came to the Learning Center for help. Our objective on this support side of instruction and support is to empower their success in becoming capable, high-achieving, and lifelong learners.